Alright, so I got a bit of a redneck project going on here. Picked up this matching washer and dryer set used, and drying not a big issue. But the washer drain hose is like, the white hose actually stops like right about here. And I stuffed it in this because, well, the previous owner had basically had cut the end off of the white when it was brand new and like had it bent like this into like, I'm guessing just a super, shorter than normal drain pipe. Well, my drain pipe is down through this hole and way over there somewhere. Follow the garden hose. Oh, there it is. Is that one that's actually coming up at an angle. That's the drain pipe. And it pops up about over there. So, the way that the landlord's washer and dryer, washer drain hose is hooked up is actually small enough that this here garden hose fit inside the end of the hose, the elbow, quite nicely. And I just wrapped it with electrical tape, like half a roll of electrical tape, and boom, it was golden. But the difference in hose sizes going on here, I can't quite pull that off as easily. So what I'm doing is dropping stuff. This first section of black hose is actually old shop vac hose that has just been sitting around collecting dust and cobwebs and God knows what else. Stuffed this white hose in it and busted out the glue gun. Put a bead around there. I actually pumped some inside and kind of melted the black hose a little bit. I may wind up applying more of a bead if need be. But then we go on and we got this part, which I'm actually in the middle of still working on gluing. This other section of hose is another washer drain hose that the end of it wouldn't fit right on the actual drain plug. The clamp was too big. The clamp that's on there now for this hose, too big for this one. So got that stuffed in and starting a nice little sealing bead around to kind of encapsulate everything and kind of try and seal it all together. Well, I'm going to keep on doing that. Preferably, maybe, potentially, in slightly more reasonable amounts. So that I'm not getting all kinds of that. And, go ahead and manage to try and get it hooked up down to that, run down to that drain pipe. And see if she leaks. Alright, down in the basement now. I got... This is extremely redneck, but I'm okay with that. I got this all glued up, coming down, running from that hole up there on the floor. Now unfortunately it wasn't quite long enough, So I put the elbow piece that came with this black drain hose back on it, and I've wedged this piece of clear tubing on there. Now unfortunately what sucks is that it's set up like this. I can't squeeze my drain hose for my dishwasher into that same little piece of pipe. So that's gonna be apparently a project for another moment. But for right now, I've already turned the water back on, and this is why. This is why there's this big old ghetto hole cut in the floor for this. The way over there is the washer hookups. No dryer hookups down here, but those are supposed to be the washer hookups, supposedly. Both hot and cold. Well, I only ever really wash clothes in cold water anyways, so I've got the cold water run with a garden hose, and then the hot water over there and runs to the dishwasher. But let's go ahead and go get that washing machine filled, just to turn around and have it drain. See what happens. It's all nice and filled up to the brim here. Well, not up to the brim, but like, oh yeah, there we go. Let's yeah. Alright, that kind of sticks, which is annoying. Got a trusty light. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna check that spot first. Lighting kind of sucks. But alright, so we're gonna go ahead, set that to spin, I guess. I think. And let's see what happens. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, definitely a bunch of water flowing through there. That's kind of cool. Alright, well, let's oh, what is it? Still draining? It is. Let's alright. Fill it back up, and then we're gonna go down to the basement. Alright, so it'd be in the process of filling again. I had to do some rerouting slightly of this hose because water was pooling up in like this section right here, and it was dangling, and I didn't like that because then that's putting a lot of strain on this here glue, and I'd rather not. But so far, no leaks. So we're, like I said, currently refilling it again. Oh, and it's done filling. I'll go run up, set it to get ready to drain again, and go from there. Alright, and it's draining. Woo! Now, turns out there is a bit of a leak right in this section of the hose. Seems to be isolated to this one section. So maybe I'll be able to just throw a bead of glue around it and say it's this one section right here. So it seems to be leaking. But I mean, on the bright side, not pressurized. And the floor is already nasty, and there's a drain over there in the corner of the floor. So I mean, even if I leave it, probably not going to be a big issue. But I will probably take and throw a bead of glue around that, just at the very least to prevent it from getting worse. But yeah, so there's my nice Redneck installation of a washing machine drain hose. Something else, I may change something about it, just if nothing else for the sake of being able to squeeze my dishwasher drain hose back into that pipe over there as well. What in the... Maybe I do have a leak. I keep hearing water drip. Yeah. Oh, that was an unpleasant sound. But apparently this thing has an actual brake, so that when you either open the lid or do anything to stop the spin cycle, it brings that drum to literally a screeching halt. But anyways, yeah, we got a leak. Gonna be kind of difficult to accomplish this with only one hand. Maybe if I just hang that right there, like that. No, can't really see it. Son of a gun. Maybe if I do it like this. So, should be able to see there's a wet spot on the black hose. There's more holes, like little pinholes, up here in this section, just like the little pinhole in this section that I showed down there. If I could get my hand out of the way, there's just no dark spaces, and only having two hands. Well, maybe back to the drawing board. Alright, well, I've reached a bit of an impasse. Really nothing I can do about that hose. I'm gonna have to actually just get a new one, or get something for tubing and or piping to actually run that properly. But in the meantime, I just cleared off that table in the basement. I put a pan there. It'll catch the water. Water's slow enough, especially with that dehumidifier down there. The bowl will probably never fill. As far as the other small hole, I'm not even going to bother. It's dripping directly onto the floor. There's so much dust there that it'll dry, and if ever any drastic flow winds up happening, then it'll just make its way to the drain that's in the floor. So, not by no means is that the wettest that floor has been, and it's probably going to be wet all winter long. So that's it. My next part of this project that I need to tackle, which I may or may not film, is going to be getting that dishwasher drain hose hooked, stuffed back somewhere. So I'll see you in the next video then.